This is actually quite an interesting way to do the story, because I feel like him running off to quickly shake her brother's hand and get teleported back would be the obvious route to take the story, similar in some ways to ReZero, but here it shows a more human side, more realistic and emotional as we see the aftermath. I liked this scene because for me it was about showing the exact thing I just mentioned, a hard to see reality. He's not all filled with motivation, he is wrecked by the recent failure, probably filled with immense guilt as well, but also definitely a quiet determination to right this wrong as her brother falls to pieces at another failure. It was also good to see how the two characters reacted to this state of affairs and how hard it is also on her brother, who we the viewer may not have taken into consideration much to date. Also though, very nice voice acting there from him, I must say. Also, whilst I've got you here, sub numbers are once again on the rise and I love to see it. Please take the time to subscribe and comment, it means everything and it barely takes a second, and you won't miss out on some godly content coming soon. I felt that! She kept it all that time! This reveal finally now making sense of why his good friend did what he did, which is great for me because I had been anxious that it was all based on a threat by someone he was scared of, which wouldn't have worked for me. This massive twist in the story nicely setting up the coming arc, aiming to become the leader in order to disband the group and save his love in the future once and for all. Also take a win here for the earlier melancholy tone to her brother. It aids the character's arc when there's a hurdle to be overcome, and he had his here. It's also realistic to boot. This silly little thing made me laugh way harder than they ever intended, I'm sure. This subtle and non-exposition way of letting us know roughly how much time has passed since the flowers have begun to wilt. Much better than him having internal monologue. Oh, Hina, it's been 12 days! Emergency plot twist! Also have another one here for finally getting to see another main character in the future. I've been waiting eagerly for that. This had to be a hard scene to do. You had to ensure that information was relayed, but not too much so as to reveal everything, and so the conversation has to have a wide mix of aspects. Formality, learning what happened to him a little, why he's being targeted. It's tough to have a scene like this fill us in but not fill us up, if you get me, and it was well done, leaving a lovely bit of mystery. Not sure if I got the chance to mention it during the first half since I've been working on numerous other projects since, but just in case, have one here for Zagreb from Black Clover. Nice little transition right there. I missed these reactions from him. Some much appreciated comedy after the seriousness of the past episode, plus it's straight up wonderful to see them all happy and together once again, especially knowing what the future currently holds.
Takemichi,
even though it's clearly not going to be him, it's nice to see that progression where now he's seen as an integral part of their group after recent events. I love that kind of thing. We've got ourselves a new ED, unexpectedly different to the first, to me focusing way more on the gang aspect, a darker side to their lives, rather than the first, which seemed more about the emotional side of things. So I liked that previously mentioned progression. Even the music feels starkly different to the first. Nighttime shot of the city that looks great. Surprisingly great mixture of CGI and animation right there. That interaction was incredibly telling from both of them. That was stupidly well done right there to convey numerous reactions and emotions and a nice sprinkling of mystery. Also have one here for the music. It took a massively different tone, much more serious, dark and foreboding to match this new main antagonist. Seriously cannot praise the editing enough for how that introduction was handled. The tone was outstanding, the music matched beautifully, and it was set up so well. Huge props! Showing both sides to him, the reaction when he saw Tomon at large angry with the appointment of the new captain, and then his private one here. God level plot twist, get down! I never expected it to go down this way, but I should have, since he's right. He's not even actually in the clan officially. Just really sucks to see them all stepping up like this.
大事な集会ぶち壊した俺は今度こそクビか
なんだ何言ってんだこの人え気づいたMikey君
The fact that Mikey stuck around to make sure he was alright, I had hoped for that but never dared think it would actually happen, makes me feel as though there's hope yet.
一番隊隊長バジケイスケ何考えてっかわかんねえだろあいつ
This was an interesting notion for me, that Mikey is really tied to many people in this organization. It makes it feel more like a family to him, explains why he struggles with certain decisions and such. I like that.
理由は説明できないんすけどあいつはヤバいんですあいつはこの先絶対にトーマンをダメにしますよいいよえいいのタケミッチ今日から正式にトーマンのメンバーだ
He's officially a member of Tomon starting today!
よろしくお願いしやーすバジ君さえ連れ戻せば妃をトーマンから追い出せるかもしれないそもそもなんでバジ君はトーマンから抜けたんだ
I can't verbalize it very well, but I swear I really love this anime. It's like a video game in how it plays out, how the story progresses and such. It's really not like other anime, so maybe that's why it's clicking with me even more so than usual.
バジ君これってもしかして創設メンバーこのバジ君とめっちゃ仲良さそうな人首にタトゥー誰だ
End of episode mystery, loving it, oh my! Massive credit for loads and loads of not walking on the spot, so many frames! Animating multiple people moving within one frame, not once, but 3 times!
へえ、何があったんだよ。
あっくんの顔がまっすぐ見れねえ
泣き虫タケミチが盗満かよ。
I mentioned this in the first half, but I'm happy to be able to point it out again in the second, and that's how I'm enjoying that the past and future is always being linked by him in some way. It's not just forgotten about until it's relevant again. He mentions it a lot in different ways.
マジでお前それでも不良か
すいません
Odd win, because 99% of the time that wouldn't get one, but his sorry just made me laugh. Not even sure why.
嬉しい同じの一個下に盗満のやつがいるなんて
よし、タケミチ。
It's this guy! He's here! I don't really know what's going to happen next, but he seems okay. I'm confused. Let's proceed with the utmost caution.
バルハラのアジト行くぞ。
バルハラ。
おい、タケミチいたぞ。
I didn't expect this! It's so sudden!
なんかあったんですか？二人とも松葉杖。
ん？昨日俺がおった。うん。
カストラ君になんか文句ある？
いや、なんでこの人たち足を折られて平然としていられんだ？あの時誓った。君を守るためならどんなことでもする。バルハラのアジト。上等だよ。
Continued character development. He's really growing. Confidence building all the time. It's great. I praised it a lot during the first half, but credit once more in the second to always taking the time to draw out large groups of people. I don't even know why they do it. They could easily cut that corner, but big old props to them for it.
一番隊の副隊長。
トーマンはバルハラの敵。神であるマイキーを裏切るなら。
Can't exactly show it, but goodness me, deep diving into that previously mentioned darker territory right there, beating on his former comrade.
すげえなお前。そいつずっとそばにいたやつだろ？
よくそこまでできるね。
A whole bunch of new characters!
そいつも創設メンバーだぜ。
あの写真の6人目、カズトラ君だったんだ。
This twist in the story, that's one win. Second win is for this setup of a total JoJo scenario. Like, I haven't the faintest clue how he's going to achieve his goal. Not a single thought. But I absolutely cannot wait to see how it'll unfold, and that's some bloody brilliant writing and storytelling in my eyes. Little things like this really do a great job of building his very unique character. It might be silly, but it tells us something about his character, even here. Like that he marches to the beat of his own drum, or maybe he doesn't want to break any speed limits or something. He's definitely unique.
俺のフォーク丸に指一本でも触れたら殺すよ。
まあ、ええわ。次また浜で流してんの見かけたら潰しちゃうかんな。
I seriously cannot believe sometimes how often I time these wins unintentionally. Like I just said about how these things build his unique character, and then this happens. A threat so seriously deadly that it makes a much older lad back right off when looking into his eyes. For this lovely, gorgeous beach, you can have a win, okay?
次見かけたら燃やすって言ったよね。
This filling in the puzzle as to what could have possibly gone so badly wrong in the past that it would make him abandon Tomon in order to join Valhalla.
てめえら。マイキーの愛車に手出したら殺すぞ。
Okay, maybe not. I'm back to feeling confused. But what's the win, I hear you yell from a large distance away. Definitely for his character here, showing a massive amount of loyalty, because it's an excellent parallel to his current self. Well, the past self. Just not the past self. Okay, you get it.
ホークマル自分で
These pair of reactions and the fact that he destroyed his own bike, I'm so confused and amused in equal measure.
その賢者は今お前
Always shocks me how many frames they dedicate to the after effect of one of his massive kicks. I mean, just look at it!
新一郎君なんでここに
あ？ここ俺の店だもん。
I immediately understood the scene when he said his name. The older brother of Mikey who passed away, and what came next was brutal and unbelievably good when it comes to understanding current past events taking place.
やめろカストラー
That was incredibly well done to impart that impact like that, especially since it wasn't one that merely wounded him but ended his life.
マイキーの兄貴なんだよ。成長君、成長君、成長君。
Brilliant voice acting right there in what was a genuinely disturbing and downright sad scene.
そうだ、救急車。マイキーの兄貴を俺が殺すわけ。
This right here, a realistic approach, far, far better than a tough guy act on a young kid, which wouldn't be natural.
カズトラ。マイキーを殺さないと。
So essentially, this event just massively eliminated any semblance of normality in this lad. It ruined him in the head, completely distorted reality for him. Excellently portrayed.
これがバルハラの特服だ。
This scene just became infinitely more JoJo. I cannot see any possible way out. I'm struggling, boys and girls. Your boy's struggling.
あと1週間で連れ戻すなんて。失敗したら殺す。どうしよう。
He still has some of the best facial reactions, though, I swear.
昨日
バジさん、かっけえだろ。東京卍会一番隊副隊長松野千冬だ。
Tokyo Revengers is pretty damn great at unexpected plot twists, even small ones like this that you just don't really see coming. I really like being kept on my toes like this.
バジさんが俺をボコったのはバルハラに入るため。でもバルハラに入ったのは東卍を潰すためじゃねえよ。バジさんの考えは他にある。妃だ。
This revelation adding essence to Baji's character, showing he's not heartless. He acts on emotion a lot, but he also uses his head. There's a lot being said without really saying anything.
知らなかったとしても、今さらどうにもなんなくても、兄貴を殺したカズトラだけは一生許せねえ。
This side to his really very deep character, the writer often keeps him from being one-dimensional, such as being all about his friends, family and crew, and yet at the same time troubled and torn inside, unable to forgive an old friend for the crime. He's a brilliant character, essentially.
バジさんがバルハラ内部から調べるなら、俺なりに外部から妃を調べて協力してくれ。タケミチ。
See what I mean by video game type progression? I really cannot put my finger on it, but I swear there might as well be a new quest started popping up on the screen, and I'm here for all of it. I know it's a weird win, but it's definitely a win in my books. Let me know if this makes any sense in the comments down below.
東卍のトップになりたいです。いつかマイキー君にそれを認めさせてみせる。それが俺のしたいことです。
Badass moment accompanied by the playing of a badass tune.
バカだな、あいつ。
だな。
Also, what I think is important to note here as another win is the fact that neither of them laughed. They called him an idiot, but that was it. It wasn't seen as some joke. It's a little plain due to the overcast sky, but I cannot ignore the sheer volume of detail in that scenery shot.
なんだてめえ。最初の印象は地味なガキ。
見返りは求めないです。自分でもらう。
あれは妃の仕業。
そして俺が刺された後、俺のやり方が気に入らねえって理由つけてマイキーに近づいてパチンを無罪にできるって餌でマイキーに取り入った。
Well done painting him in a very creepy vibe. Perfectly fits his plain old evil character, to put it lightly, especially when you remember the things he put into action, like against the guy's girlfriend in the first half.
トップ不在の謎多きチーム。ついた異名が首のない天使。誰も知らないトップ。それは妃テッタだ。
I didn't even consider this, but that's a mad twist. You're so good at twists. Check you out.
12年前、総長不明の暴走族バルハラがいたのを覚えてますよね。そのトップは妃なんですか？
いや違う。
え？
バルハラのトップはマイキーだ。
Wait, what?
あの日、マイキーはカズトラを殺した。
Yet another plot twister there!
信じてるのに。 ドラケン君と話してるとなぜか浮かんでくるんだ。その時の光景がどうして出てくんのかわかんねえけど、覚えてないはずの記憶が溢れ出てくるんだ。
This new reveal that he's starting to become able to see glimpses of a past he hasn't yet officially been able to witness himself.
倒れているワジ君、カズトラ君、そして血まみれのマイキー君、全部本当なのかなんてわかんねえけど、あのマイキー君の悲しそうな顔、俺マイキー君を助けないと。
This reaction and statement from him now coming across to me anyway as though he's not in this just to solely save Hina anymore, but now it's also about saving Mikey from a horrible future and his friends too.
竜宮事件の時といい、僕たちこんなのばっかですね。
そろそろ決めねえとな。
そろそろか。簡単に言いますね。
I really appreciated this internal monologue because it was basically hinted at with his prior comment but then confirmed internally that he has deep respect for him and what he's doing, what he's been able to accomplish and how he keeps pushing harder against the tide and fighting. Says a hell of a lot about his character as well now that I mention it. Yet loads of people complained he was consistently weak. I don't get it.
お揃いがいいじゃん。お気に入りだったみたい。いつも大事そうに身につけてたのよ、あの子。泣くほど。
泣いてねえよ。
It's always that damn music. It gets my eyes leaking too. She's so sweet and kind though.
俺はもうあの頃の俺じゃねえ。
それでも俺はお前の仲間だ。
Oh, they are really good at building tension. I must admit, it's not your classic scenery shots that get wins on this channel, but once you pause and take a good look at it, it's definitely obvious that a lot of work went into them and they fit the bill nicely.
その前にちょっと付き合え、タケミッチ。
え？どこに？
Credit for healing up several of his injuries. At first he was bandaged up significantly, but now it's down to just the eye patch. Dedication!
俺はバルハラだ。明日、トーマンを潰す。
どうか死なないで。マイキー君が悲しむから。
あいつは敵だ。明日俺が殺す。あいつにそう伝えろ。
This is agonizing, man! JoJo's situation, enough said!
連れ戻せなくてすいません。
お前は悪くねえよ。バジが引かねえならしょうがねえ。
You know what? Massive, gigantic-sized props for this. I just mentioned the JoJo, how they're going to pull out of the bag aspect, and now it's demolished, and that's perhaps the greatest twist. He's not immediately making threats to Taka, he's accepting the failed result, which means there's flexibility, realism. It's not black or white, and I love that.
裏切り者は容赦しねえ。それが東卍のやり方だ。もう止めらんねえんだな、タケミッチ。
俺ガキになっていいか？
は？
みんな力を貸してくれ。明日俺らはバルハラぶっ潰してバジを東卍に連れ戻す。それが俺らの決戦だ。
マイキー君。
灰谷兄弟、一声かけりゃ100人以上が集まる六本木のカリスマ兄弟。上の仕切ってるガリマン、バケモンみてえに強えらしい。
Man, this story loves throwing brand new, interesting looking characters into the mix like it's no big deal, and I'm all for it. This is getting hype!
俺が今日の喧嘩の仕切り任されてる池袋クリミナルブラックメンバーズのハンセンだ。
I love how rules were put into place for this fight, again making it more realistic for an official punch-up than just randomly meeting in a field to fight or something.
それだけだ。
てめえ、上等じゃねえかよ。
ここで争う気。
This anime, I can't even. How can they twist so much? It must hurt. I don't get it, but you do it. Plot twist. Jotaro still being in this anime automatically equals a win. It's like maths or something, I think.
てめえがマイキーに手出すなんざ100年早えんだよ。
I cannot honestly tell you how nervous this storyline has made me. It's like when Drakon was stabbed. It's always on the very edge of falling apart. That's some brilliant writing to evoke such feelings from me, as I'm thus so invested in the story. Nice work. No word of a lie, sometimes they have an absolute knack for impactful shots. I can't think of a great many other anime which have that nailed down. This is fairly rare, like I felt that.
三ツ矢くん助かったっす。
バカ野郎！てめえ何しにここに来たんだ。今俺ら喧嘩してんだぞ。てめえも2番隊の一員だろうが。
He's specifically getting voice acting praise for his role in this one, so very different from many of his others like Inosuke from Demon Slayer or Petal Goose from ReZero. He really is super talented. And whilst I'm on the subject, take another one again for all of their voice acting performances. Everyone has been great or outstanding. It's been a pleasure to listen to. This again, natural reaction. You wouldn't be cool about someone being wimpy in your crew. Of course you'd react in this way. That! You go, old son! Says a lot about his character that he's allowing his boys to freely attack Draken from the back, but 90% of the win is for the smooth animation. Like, it's not Violet Evergarden or Demon Slayer, but work and time and effort is more than clearly poured into it.
東満150にバルハラ300ってだけでも不利なのに。
This moment got them a sin off on the other version, since originally I'd sinned how many of them were around the place, making a joke about them spawning in. But this comment had it removed, since I had no idea there were twice as many of them out there, so well played.
やべえな。気持ちで負けてきてる。対象が遠いぜ。
俺が全員ぶっ飛ばそんな情けねえ。
何弱音吐いてんだおめえ。てめえもだろうがよ。敵が倍言いようが関係ねえ。
Even though it's pretty hilarious for him to be doing a running windmill, it's at the same time bloody great, since he's got such a knack for encouraging others even when they're at their lowest points like right here. Dragon being an absolute friggin' legend! Okay, Draken really is legit. Who'd have thought that would have happened after he welcomed on the fight? That almost never happens in anime. Hats off to them for that. Rolo from Kogias. Shockingly great animation from a distance where normally it takes a massive drop, since it becomes so much more difficult to do than up-close animation. Then some excellent animation right after too. Beautiful stuff.
一個だけ教えてくれ。カストラ。俺はお前の敵か？
No lie, Mikey getting back up, it gets its own win, especially since he was attacked with the same hit that killed his brother. There's some awful poetry in that, but at least he's okay and back up. Tokyo Revengers makes me very nervous.
幼い頃の記憶はあまりない。覚えてるのは振り上げられた拳と怯える母の顔だけだ。
Being legends and giving us some backstory on Kazutora, the best way in which to try and make a disgusting person like him somewhat understandable, or to empathize with him.
あんなの喧嘩じゃねえよ。マイキー
This is plain old awful. Knowing what's happening, the sound of it, and everything makes my stomach turn. And then Draken being unable to get to him must be the worst thing ever, man. Although obviously physically impossible, I think with Tokyo Revengers, you need to leave behind the realm of realism when it comes to the battles and treat it more like My Hero or something, and if you do that, that becomes a sick-ass moment deserving of a double win. Yeah, I'm not gonna just ignore those final seconds too. Dude looks utterly badass right there. Totally different than his normal self. And no doubt is the moment he would, in the normal timeline, now kill the guy. They really do a fantastic job of creating battle scenes, such as everyone in the background, and I don't think any of it is being done by CGI, which just makes it all the more impressive to pull off. Even though I have some issues raised on the other version about what Taka was doing that entire time that Mikey was fighting, once he actually decides to do something, he's great to watch. Just wish he'd acted sooner when Mikey was first in trouble is all. Another god tier plot twist! Didn't see that coming. You could have asked me 1,000 times and that wouldn't have come up, as I totally forgot about the guy. Take a maximum 2 wins for that.
Kisaki! よくやった。違うよ。違うんだよ、ドラケン君。
It's hard to see because he must feel so utterly frustrated that his plan is working perfectly for him and that there's seemingly nothing he can do to change the course of events. It's like he's a puppet master or something, and that vibe is emanating from him really nicely here.
Kisaki!
Are you freaking kidding me? Another massive plot twist right after the last? I don't even know what to do. The plot's a damn turkey Twizzler at this point. Again, he might be late to the party, but his presence ends up making a huge difference. Keeping himself in the game through nothing but sheer force of will. Oh my word! This anime man! Damn! This! Now this is a JoJo scenario! I can't see any way out of this! I'm racking my brains like crazy and I got nothing!
なめてんのかマイキー。
ほら、終わった。
Oh, I knew it was coming and yet it was still awesome!
やはりバジは裏切り者だ。
お前まで俺を見捨てるのか、バジ。
Understanding the events which occurred just beforehand, which now makes a lot more sense why it happened as it did, as obviously I was greatly confused.
マイキーのためにやったのに。全部マイキーのせいだ。だからマイキーを殺さないと。
悲しいこと言うなよ。この先どんな地獄が待ってても俺は最後まで一緒だから。
Oh man, really? I never thought something like that happened that night. That's blown me away. Says so much about Baji as a character as well.
俺のために怒ってくれてありがとな。
動いちゃダメだ、バジさん。
I'm basically right now as tense as I was during the first half when Draken was in such a bad way, but sadly I cannot see him surviving this. But I'm so tense it's not even funny. You have no idea.
俺お前にはやられねえよ。
Phew. Okay, that gets 2 max wins. I'm not happy about it, especially after the last win, but I guess if he was definitely going to die as a result of the previous wound anyway, then I suppose he's taking away their guilt by doing it to himself instead. But I'm definitely not happy, but that as a twist cannot be understated.
キサがマイキーにそう持ちかけるのを見ちまった。3番隊隊長はキサキじゃねえ。トーマンは俺ら6人で立ち上げた。どんな理由があっても3番隊隊長はバーだけなんだ。
Another revelation! How can this story keep on coming up with not only twists aplenty, but then story elements like this? As to be honest, I'd entirely forgotten that it initially seemed odd that he'd been made captain, but now it makes total sense.
マイキー、カズトラ、あいつらは俺の宝だ。
Yeah, he really was such a great character in the end, and yet he had a massively short amount of time in the spotlight, and still I feel this way. Just great writing and character building there.
ダメだよ、バジ君。そんなこと言わないで。死んじゃダメだ。買ってきますよ。
半分こ。ありがとな。ジューユ。
バジさん。バジさ
As sad as this scene is, I cannot stay silent whilst such smooth, distanced fighting is taking place in the background. Cannot tell you how rare that is, and for it to look so good too.
ごめん、バジ君。
お前に託す。
His final words to Taka, finally taking hold upon his soul and pushing him into action.
二人のトーマンのためだろ。バジ君はカズトラ君に殺されるんじゃなくて自決することを選んだんだ。カズトラ君に負い目を感じてほしくなかったから。マイキー君にカズトラ君を許してほしかったから。みんなが大好きだからその決断をしたんだって。なんでわかんねえんだよ。
His words and voice acting really hit me with this scene. Extremely powerful stuff.
バジ、ずっと持ってたのか。あの日のお守りだ。バジ。
Ah, that and the picture must have been his at the shrine. It's all coming to me now. Even back then, there was excellent clues being dropped as to Baji's true feelings towards all of his friends. Oh man, it's hitting me even worse now. Getting nearly 2 minutes at the start of the episode of the original crew back when it all first began. An oddly really wholesome moment as they're young and carefree and just enjoying life.
俺らでチームを作るんだ。え？
チーム俺らで？
ああ。
It's a small win, but still a win all the same for the fact that it was Baji who actually came up with the idea of forming Toman originally.
一人一人がみんなのために命を張れる。そんなチームにしたい。うん。記念にみんなでお守り買おうぜ。
いいな。
Genuinely find it so sad to know that this is what they were all like and now he's gone. It means so much more, I think, doing it this way around. That way we start off utterly hating him for killing Mikey's brother, attacking Baji, And then by the end, it leaves you feeling quite conflicted in many ways.
お前が持ってろよバジ。
ああ、結成のきっかけはお前だしな。
それがいい。
預けたぞ。大事に預かっとくぜ。
Even though I already issued out a win for him having that and the picture, its meaning is now much greater with the explanation and everything, so have another separate win.
誰かが傷ついたらみんなで守る。一人一人がみんなを守るチームにしたい。そうやってできたチームだった。
バジ君はずっと一人で戦ってたんすね。その日の約束を守るために。
Oh man, these words, dude. That he was fighting on his own the whole time, fighting to keep everyone who founded Toman together as best he could, in spite of all the horrible stuff that happened. He really was a brilliant character, and whilst it's sad, it's wonderful to see all of them collectively grieving for him.
マイキー、許してくれなんて言えねえ。陳一郎君のこともバジのことも一生背負って生きていく。
This final moment between them, what an amazing scene. To see him clawed back from like hell itself to being a friend again for just a moment meant so much to me.
2005年10月31日、東京卍会150人対バルハラ300人、東卍の勝利に終わったこの構想は死者1名、逮捕者1名を出すこととなった。
Also take another one here for the battle finally ending in favour of a better future, hopefully, and in many ways it was made even greater because Baji had such a direct hand in it, so it wasn't just all about Taka.
半分こ。
初めて会った時もそうだったっすね。半分こ。
Go on then. Such a beautiful sentiment.
3組にダブってるやついるらしいぜ。
1年なのに。え？中学でダブりとかあんの？
そう思うだろ。きっと超やべえ不良だぜ。
バジケイスケってドイツだ。え？あいつ？あれ？
I didn't see that coming. That was Baji.
お前いいやつだな。
で、さっきから何書いてんの？
手紙。
は？文通？キモ。
せえな！てめえに関係ねえだろうが！殺すぞ！
Getting to see how these two first met, how they got on, and how things changed over time, something I didn't even know I wanted until I started being shown it.
バカ！てめえの出る幕じゃ！え？一発？お前、一体。
東京卍会一番隊隊長バジケイスケだ。
Also getting to see Baji fight for probably the final time.
ただいま。あと1個しかねえじゃん、おふくろ。
じゃあ俺いらないっすよ。
まあ半分こな。
Yeah, another one for that.
もう逃げねえ。向き合わないといけない。あいつがそう教えてくれた。
死ぬなよ、カズトラ。てめえの考えてることなんて分かってんだよ。自殺して詫びようなんて許さねえかんな。
でも他にどうしたらいいかわかんねえんだよ。
Massive credit to the mangaka for sculpting this story. I feel honoured being able to follow their lives, the ups and the downs, and really important moments such as this, especially with Draken's comment there.
マイキーから伝言だ。これからもお前は東卍の一員だ。
A final win here for Mikey forgiving him, not because it's what he wants to do, but because it was essentially Baji's final wish.
すみません、間違えました。
ただいま。
Well, not showing it, but yeah, loads of nice stuff.
ご指名ありがとうございます。レミです。先にシャワー浴びててね。
I don't mind the events which are occurring.
ドラケン君、ありがとう。
何やってんだてめえ。俺もカズトラを殺したかった。よくねえことは分かってる。それでもだ。マイキーを止めてくれてありがとな。
This dude is seriously growing on me as a voice actor. I always enjoyed him as Ban in Seven Deadly Sins, but he's fantastic in this as well. Mix that with the music and his heartfelt gratitude towards Taka, and it makes for such a wholesome moment.
大好きマイキー。
終わった。今度こそ東卍最終決戦が勃発しちまう。
His reactions, that was one of his perfect ones, like during the first half. I felt pretty much identical to that as well though, so it's even better.
そのパイプどっから？
見たまえワトソン君。エマちゃんのあの目。
すげえ説得力だ。確かに恋してる目だ。
不潔。どこ見てるのよ。
I'm actually dropping one here purely for the relaxation period I very much wanted after a series of intense episodes on the bounce, so in all honesty, just seeing them like this makes me very chilled.
嘘！なんでここにいるの？
That's probably the best one yet.
お前、妹の誕生日付き合ってんの？マイキー。
I can't freaking believe it!
俺。誕生日おめでとう。よう済んだし帰るわ。
かっけー！
Draken being super sweet!
あれれ、俺らのこと忘れてるよな。
見てられませんね。
I love stuff like this. Stupid things you don't think about as they run off romantically, whilst leaving behind his mate and her brother.
部長、こっちもお願いします。
順番な。手芸部の部長？
へえ。
My boy in his official uniform for the first time! I think I went a little overboard there. Absolutely amazing end of episode plot twist with the vice head of Valhalla himself attending their meeting. That's like one of the best cliffhangers I've seen in this anime.
まさか。
前に来てくれ。妃撤退。
妃は敵だ。
Brilliant scene, this as a whole. It just perfectly demonstrates why he is the main villain at this point, because he uses his head to make the things he wants to happen come true no matter the outcome. Like, I never thought about it until right now, but no matter how things went at the fight, he had this outcome in mind, which is crazy.
てめえのついていきたいやつはてめえが指名する。花垣武道、俺はお前に一番隊隊長を任せる。
That is amazing! That gets 2 wins. Like, it was on the cards, it was set up nicely earlier in the episode and at the end of the last, but it still caught me massively by surprise. I love it!
まだ東卍を変えられる。よろしくお願いします。
おいおい、何泣いてんだよ。しまんねえな。
So good, man. He might not be everyone's cup of tea, but in my mind, he's working really hard, trying his best to fix the future in any way he can, and he's definitely not a typical hero, but he's definitely cut from a different cloth, and I like it. Makes for great scenes like this.
なんだこの髪型。
お客様。
じゃあいいです。誰？
行くぞ。
怖っ。
早く乗れよ。
I love it! He changed in the future!
でもこの二人なんか見たことある。
山岸、おめえがちゃんとしろよ。
あ、山岸？こいつがあの山岸？誠に拓也か。こいつら溝中メンバーだ。
It's Yagamishi and everyone else!
それにまだ来てないやつもいるだろうが。
パーチンくん。
それよりチャーハンは込めねえと食進まねえぞこれ。
チャーハンは最後だ、ハゲチャビン。
変わんねえな。 12年経ってもみんな東満にいるんだ。
Getting to see the older versions of everyone we've been spending so much time alongside for the previous few episodes, and for the first time!
ごちゃごちゃごちゃごちゃうっせえの。
誰だ？
子さんはよ。
Kaminari from My Hero Academia!
誰のおかげで食っていけてると思ってんだ。一番古いってだけで大した上納金も上げてねえのにふんぞり返ってる子さんども。
Itadori from Jujutsu Kaisen!
NP はっきり言い過ぎ。
Tanjiro from Demon Slayer!
ちょっと野暮用でな。
これが妃？なんか別人みたいに見えるんですけど。え？
竹道、千冬、ちょっと時間をくれないか。
あ、はい。
I'm just going to say it again, and I'm pretty sure I said it once before, but definitely during the first half. I love this story. I adore the time leaping mechanics, seeing them as youngsters and then adults. I think it's absolutely brilliant, and I cannot wait for season 2, personally.
俺が構想を収めればみんなが俺にひれ伏す。必死だった。バジが死ぬとは思わなかった。
I do not believe him for even a nanosecond, but it's getting a win because I didn't see it coming 15 miles away and I was using a pair of binocs.
さっきバジが死ぬとは思わなかったって言ったけどよ。あれ嘘だ。俺がカズトラを使ってバジを殺した。そして今からその続きを始める。
そうだ。ここは動けねえ。え？なんだこれ？
Ugh, I frickin' knew it, and I've got a really bad feeling. Take a nervous win for the 1000th damn plot twist?
関係ねえかどうか、それは俺の決めることだ。なあ花垣、てめえさっきから何関係ありませんって顔してやがるんだ。
Another great example of a prior win where I talked about how present events are so much darker and adult than their younger years. Yeah, I know they carry knives and there's been 2 stabbings, but stuff like this, his friend jumping off the roof in the first half, plus the car crash at the end of episode 12, are all so much darker, including this right here, which I can't really show.
竹道！
聞け、竹道、最後の言葉だ。この12年いろいろあった。マイキー君は姿を消して、ドラケン君は死刑。
The reveal that this future, which she felt was so much better, is one where Draken has been taken out and Mikey has disappeared. Man, it's so hard to fix the future. This really is just like ReZero in the best of ways.
バジさんの思いを、東満を、頼むぞ、相棒。
Ah, so 2 wins here. Firstly, his final moment was painful, and the impact of it was so spot on again, as I've mentioned before. It hits really hard how they did it. Second win is for foregoing the ED in order to give us extra content during this final episode. Props for that, always.
安心しろ。お前もすぐに行かせてやる。なんだお前は。そんなもんなのか？ああ！じゃあな、俺のヒーロー。
What an ending to the first season. That gets 2 max wins. Bloody brilliantly done. They've got a mystery element with the hero comment, the tear rolling down his cheek, and then the what happens next of it all. I cannot express how amazing I found the end of that episode. You get 2 max wins with my gratitude. Well, that'll be the end of the video, ladies and gents. I very much hope you enjoyed it. I personally, as you have no doubt surmised, bloody loved it, and I cannot wait for the next season, especially after that ending. It can definitely have a final win for such a great season overall, packed with amazing voice actors, a great story and awesome characters, and for just being so unique as a whole too. If you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the subscribe button before you leave so as not to miss out on some amazing stuff coming down the pipe soon. And of course, Patreon is also down below, where for $4 per month you can vote in all Anime Wins content. Thanks so much for watching, and of course I'll see you in Season 2 or in whatever video you choose to watch next. Word Without a Word, Nathan Bird, Ali 50, Darth Weirdo, Isael Caldera, Tyler, Ted L, Josh, Matt the Marshmallow, Kieran Robinson, Chris Harris, Jonas Stahl, Manolo Saucedo Munoz, Steelers, Matthew Blanchett, Kim Munt, Manuel Mireles, Conito, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Blitzcloud, Aura Keeper, Kepan, Jeffer6263, Magnus, Kevin Nauta, Brendan Krier, The Epic Amanda, Sentimento, Gaten 2000, Storm 970, Inokami and Water, Kaj Vorzelman, Sebastian Ramirez, Joa Edvinson, Leaf Arnhammer, Marquez,